love that song. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to those who are in our sanctuary and those on the World Wide Web. And for those of you who may not know why we are singing up so beautifully our national song is because it is Independence Weekend, the 6th of August. Today. So we're not getting a holiday tomorrow? Oh, okay, all right. Today is Independence Day, the 6th of August, right? And we're just feeling wonderful to be Jamaicans and to be who we are. So before I speak anymore, having welcomed you all, we'll do the opening affirmative prayer. Join me, okay? Truly, God is love. And that love choosing to express itself within its creation has planted within each one of us the seed of love, that expansive feeling of connection with each other, that oneness, that which allows us to recognize the beauty of the God present in each one of us. So in this moment, we feel that love for the life of God which expresses in us. We feel that love for everything that we do and say, for our friends or family, for our beautiful country, Jamaica, for humanity, for the world, and for anything else that comes into our consciousness, because it is all God, the living Spirit Almighty. And so it is this love that animates this service this morning, which allows us to let go and surrender and know that we are the collective consciousness of love, which just flows through this service. So that every note that we sing is a note that is just scintillating with love and joy. Every word that is spoken, the message is just filled with light and love and energy. So we leave here feeling blessed, we feel full, we are fulfilled and filled with the awareness of the presence of God, growing forever and ever with every moment that we breathe in this incarnation into eternity. We are so grateful and we love our church. We love it, we love our teaching. We just love, love, love. This is what we feel and know right now. So I release my words now and allow love to take hold of this service easily, effortlessly, peacefully, joyfully, lovingly, and with great fulfillment. I give thanks that it is so. And so it is. So it is. Well, we are going to stand for this one, eh? No inspirational reading first. Oops, 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 oops. Thank you. All right, so Reverend Anne has charged me with the inspiration and reading, and I had blown it up quite big so that I would be able to read it fluently. Being the person that she is, yes, she brought it here, so that is a backup for me. So I'll read the first verse, and she will share the other verses later on in her wonderful, wonderful talk. So the caption is Infinite Stillness. And the quote is from Robert H. Bitzer. The belief that something false is real does not make it so, but does govern our actions. The bush alongside a mountain trail can startle us if we believe that it is a bear. In Jamaica, we might believe it is a dopey, right? There's a creativeness in us which we do not put there, but which we draw out. If we would demonstrate peace and abundance, let us know that this is not done by rushing hither and thither, but by staying at home with a cause. That which the mind recognizes becomes part of its experience. That which we are pre-exists our experience. To be still and know that the eternal presence is in us is the beginning of wisdom and freedom. Don't it? Yes. And so it is. So it is. I'll return this to you, Reverend, in good time. Now, I would like us to stand for our national pledge, which is on page 2. And it's also on the internet. You will see it. Okay? Page 2, the top of page 2, and we're going to say it from our hearts. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, and the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Wow, and so it definitely is. Well, no, keep standing. We're going to sing. No. I know we're going to do our silence. My granddaughter was better at this. And you can sit for the silence, so that, okay? Please sit. And as we go into the silence, we see a clear picture of our beautiful people, Jamaicans, just being joyful. That was so easy, so easy. So now, we'll sing our praise song. Sweet Jamaica. And Sonia will guide us in it.
Sweet Jamaica, everywhere you go, you are very sure to see rivers, valleys, mountains, and all of them pretty. should be grateful to our Creator for sweet Jamaica. Sweet Jamaica. Sweet Jamaica. Land of sunshine and wood and water. Sweet Jamaica.
Again.
Sweet Jamaica. Sweet Jamaica. Land of sunshine and wood and water. Sweet Jamaica.
Wow, yes. Sweet Jamaica. I felt it, I heard it, and it is good. Very good. And now, the prayer of our center. So, guess what? You're going to have to stand up again. You're getting exercises this morning, all right? Stand for that, please. Ready? Prayer of our center. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Yes, okay. So it is. It's in the bag. My bag, in the iPad. Okay, so we're going to light the candle, right? For the youth of the world. Meanwhile, please find your affirmation for blessing of the children, and it is on page 3. Do we have any children here this morning? I think they're on holiday. Yes, so we just salute the child in us and in all the children of the world. So, we love you. Together, we love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And we see you as shining lights onto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. Come together. Okay. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one in spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one in spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. That was my iPad that I sent for, and I'm sure this is we are going to get the entire service streaming seamlessly this morning. Well, now that we have settled that, we will now continue with, guess what? The announcements. You see why I had to send for it, right? Our announcements, again, For those of us who want to be reminded, it's Independence Day in Jamaica. August 6th, Independence Day. And we continue by welcoming again those persons, anyone who's here for the first time, either in the sanctuary or anyone who is on the World Wide Web for the first time. If you are on the World Wide Web for the first time, please indicate in some way that you're joining us so that we may reach out to you, and in our hearts, and also we will reach out to you later on to welcome you in some way and to share with you something about our church. So is there anyone who is here this morning? Everybody looks like they have been here before. Please stand if you are coming here for the first time. Oh, yes, Reverend Anne says family. Okay, so we are all family, whether we have been here once, twice, or many, many times. So welcome, welcome, welcome again. The floral arrangements are... Yeah, nice is putting it mildly. I wanted to guess. Who did it? We have so many floral angels that it's sometimes. Judy, dear, right? Yes. All Jamaican flowers expressing the beauty of our nation. Judy, we appreciate you. We thank you so much for your consciousness of beauty. Yes. Okay, so I like to say that all events in our church, they are all significant, but we're highlighting some of them. So Wisdom Circle will resume with Angela Elliott, our maestro. It will resume in September, okay? Spiritual Mind Healing Service continues. And it's always on Tuesdays at 6. And this Tuesday, it will be Practitioner Vance Gardner. So please come, listen, experience the prayers and the encouragement of our practitioner, Vance Gardner. The link will be shared with you through email. So if you have not yet shared your email address with us, then do so. Otherwise, just tune into YouTube. Yes. And you will get the service at 6 on Tuesday. Thanksgiving services. I want us all to remember the families of Mrs. Dorothy McConnell, known to us as Mrs. Mack, and Mrs. Jeanette Polak, as we do our daily prayers. The service for Mrs. Mack will be August 18 at 10 a.m. Well, I'm not sure what day of the week it is, but it's August 18. Friday. August 18 at 10 a.m. And for Mrs. Polak, August 24th. That sounds like Thursday. I think so. Anyway.
Yes, that's a Thursday.
There's going to be, I think it's also at 10 a.m. It doesn't say, but it's also at 10, right? We will confirm. But there's going to be another service.
1 o'clock.
1?
Yes.
Okay. 1. Good time on a Thursday. There's going to be another Thanksgiving service for Jeanette on the 27th in her hometown in Montego Bay. For those of you who choose to go to Montego Bay or who are from that end of the island. Our master class, I'm so looking forward to it. It's on the weekend of October 27th to 29th, 2023. And it's at Paradise Cove in Runaway Bay. It's the resumption of our annual master class. And this year, our facilitator speaker will be Dr. Merritt Jones, who is a world-renowned author, facilitator. He has visited this church before. He has come online to encourage us in our classes. He's just about a wonderful person and truly spiritually gifted, as we all are, but he shamelessly shares it with us. You must come to experience him. And the weekend is captioned, Creating a Life of Abundance Filled with Purpose and Meaning. How about that? Yes, there is a contribution of $465 for double occupancy and US $678 for single occupancy. And you can start paying down, you know, to give encouragement so that we know that you're definitely committed, right? So commit, pay up, come, and have the most wonderful experience of being inspired but bonding with each other as well. For prayer support, we continue to offer prayer support. The practitioner who is going to be available to you after the service is practitioner Carol Charlton. And the number to call is 876-289-0907. 876-289-0907. And in addition, if you wish to speak to a practitioner, anytime from 8 a.m. to midnight, Mondays to Fridays, you may call the same number, 289-0907. And for pastoral counseling, you may call the office to make an appointment. And practitioners are also available at any time for your individual prayers in person. But you make an appointment, please. I would also like to mention that something truly special is taking place at noon called Noon Bites with a B-Y-T-E-S, where Reverend Ann inspires us with little tidbits, just 4 minutes of your time in the middle of the day at 12 noon to spice up, continue to spice up your life, because for those of you who don't wake up for 6 for Reverend John's in the garden. So we continue to be grateful to all of us who share our generosity to support our church and help it to continue to be a beacon of light in the world. The financial support is given in person, or we may go to our donate page, which is donate.templeoflight.org. And our banking details are there. But before I close off, I would just like to honor a request that was made through our chairman of our Minister Search Committee, Zoe Saunders. It was made by Reverend Michelle, who, you know, is in waiting to be our new senior minister. And she is requesting that we consider participating in the our One Heart CSL Member Council virtual gathering. It's a virtual gathering of Centers for Spiritual Living, and I have put it on our Facebook page where you can click and find out all the details. You can join from there. And also, there is another gathering which is in October, pretty close to our retreat, our workshop, annual workshop. It's a Centers for Spiritual Living is also hosting an in-person retreat for members from 18 to 40. Yeah. 18 to 40? We have a few people in here who fulfill that criteria, right? So I also have put the link there, and with all of the details, your contribution, when it will be. And I think it's just so wonderful how invested Reverend Michelle is in our well-being. She has hit the ground running, keeping in touch with us to make sure that our church has a high visibility on the international scene, as well as to benefit from all that's going on. And I think we should give her another hand, please. Perhaps next week we'll go into a little more detail with it, right? It's okay? So now that our announcements are over, I would like us to sing our first hymn. It's our first hymn. It was our praise song. Now it's our first hymn, and it is found on our flyer. And if you're on the World Wide Web, you will see it on the screen. So we're going to sing our hearts out now. You may be seated. Now, for the highlights of our service, the message. We so look forward to hearing this very informed, intense, but deeply calm individual we know as Reverend Anne Shand. She is multitasker, but still finds time always to spend time within. And the results are palpable, as wherever she shares in our church, she comes as a free and open channel through which Spirit speaks, thinks, and gives of itself. So help me to welcome our wonderful, wonderful interim minister, Reverend Anne Shan.
Thank you, Reverend Sonia. Thank you, friends and family. Let me add my own words of welcome. It is indeed a special day. Huh? As a nation, we celebrate 61 years of excellence, resilience, faith, and strength that has arisen in our people from the lessons and challenges of everyday existence. Friends, I mean, if you're not watching women football, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not watching netball, I don't know what to tell you. Our nation, in some way, shape, or form, is just shining brightly on the world stage. And we give thanks because our consciousness allows that to happen, because we all want good for our beloved Jamaica and our temple. Center for Spiritual Living, Kingston, Jamaica. We extend our salutations to all, and we are a lighthouse of collective consciousness, revealing love, joy, peace, and prosperity to all, those in the sanctuary and those joining us online. We start this morning with a quote from our national hero, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He says, "The man who is not able to develop and use his mind is bound to be a slave of the other man who uses his mind." This focuses on the development and use of our minds. So why should we develop our mind and use it efficiently? Dr. Ernest Holmes, the channel through which our teaching, The Science of Mind, was revealed, stated in his book, The Effective Prayer, and I quote, "I believe that man is the direct representative of this divine presence on this plane of existence. Man is the most highly evolved intelligence of which we have any knowledge. Man, being the highest representation of God here, is more nearly like God than any other manifestation on earth. I believe that the relationship between God and man, between the infinite and the finite, is a direct one, and that the avenue through which the mind of God expresses to the mind of man is through the mind of man himself. We have the ability to think, to know, to perceive, to receive, and to act. What are these attributes other than a direct channel through which the universal spirit flows to us? So that's one reason why we should develop and use our minds efficiently so we can take a hold of this intelligence. We are the highest representative, the most evolved, as Reverend Elmer used to say, the most evolved evolute on this plane of existence. So let us unpack that quote. It says, we are the inlet and outlet of that infinite intelligence which we call God. It is a direct relationship which operates through the mind, the avenue of our mind. There is one mind, the mind of God, which is our mind now. We have the ability to think, to know, to perceive, to receive, and to act. Our brain is the organ through which we recognize our oneness with God's spirit and mind. So it therefore behooves us to develop our mind, that inlet of infinite intelligence, the cause, creator, pure consciousness back of all forms. We are the highest representative of the divine presence on this plane of existence. I'm reminded by an old Puritan saying, which I quote from, "Never let what you don't know disturb your faith in what you do know. Never let what you don't know. Disturb your faith in what you do know. My sharing, therefore, this morning is about celebrating what we do know. Scientific medical practitioners also advocate the importance of focusing on the pattern of our thoughts. Dr. Wilbur, that is Dwight Locke Wilbur, medical practitioner, on the inauguration of his presidency of the American Medical Association, endorsed Medicare, strange enough from 1900, that adequate health care is a right for all citizens. And he stated, which I find very interesting, he says 1/3 to 2/3 of the people who visit a doctor's office have no recognizable organic illness. He does not mean by this that their condition is imaginary, but rather a functional disturbance brought on by their way of thinking, end of quote. Reverend Sonia, bears some introspection, doesn't it, eh? Disturbance brought on by their way of thinking. Practitioner Courtney Johnson has always advocated that the consciousness of perfect health is extremely important for a community as ours, as the collective vibration of perfection must outpicture in the general improvement of health for all who come into contact with his force field of consciousness. When you see him, ask him about it, because he has always said that. The development of our thought patterns individually and collectively is a paradigm worth focusing on. In its consideration, the foundation must be based on what we do know to be true for us and celebrated. One, the freedom of being caused to our own outer experiences. Our faith in our principles must be the law that governs our demonstrations. Application of principle rather than theology is key. Or you must have a marriage of both application and theology. It's no point spouting theology if you're not practicing it, eh? So that is where that is from. Joel Goldsmith, New Thought writer, in his book, Rising in Consciousness, quoted, "Unless you find your safety and security in spirit, in God, you will always be battling error." Unless you find your safety and security in spirit, in God, you will always be battling error. We can resonate with that because what? We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is a logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. In other words, God is all there is. The omnipresence of spirit is truth. Joel Goldsmith goes on to give a true story of an illustration of the omnipresence of spirit where there is always safety and security. The story goes like this. On Friday nights, the vice president of a bank in Long Island carried all the payroll to be distributed on a Saturday morning to the factory near to the bank. It was always his custom to take a shortcut through a vacant lot on his way home. Long time days that done. This particular night, as he cut into the vacant lot, it came to him that he had forgotten something. He turned around and went back, but he could not find anything he had forgotten. He couldn't remember a thing. He said to himself, must have made a mistake, and started out again. This time, he went through the vacant lot and had no feelings in any way. The next day, the paper reported that a man had been held up and killed in that lot about the same time. Sometime later, they caught the man responsible. And this bank, remembering the incident, thought, I wonder if he was waiting for me. He received permission to go down and speak to the prisoner, who said, I know you, where you work. You were the fellow we were after. And when you came back the second time with those two other fellows accompanying you, we were licked. That is what the man said. The banker, however, said he had no one with him. He had, though, a divine sense of protection, the omnipresence of the Christ. Where is that Christ consciousness? It is always within, and that was the outpicturing of the banker's consciousness. So to go back to the Puritans' quote, never let what you don't know disturb your faith in what you do know. Our national hero reminds us to develop and use our mind, to develop a conscious awareness of the omnipresence of the Christ, our supreme protection and security and wholeness. Hebrews 13 verses 5 and 6 from our Judeo-Christian Bible states, and I quote, "He hath said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me," end of quote. The divine protection will never leave nor forsake us. We celebrate that truth, that wherever we are centered, surrounded, and sheltered by the force field of spirit. It is suggested that we develop this awareness of the divine security and wholeness by the very mental thought patterns that we inculcate. And we must do this because we operate. It's energy. Thought is energy, right? So if we operate at an energy that sends out vibratory messages that allow us to live, move, and have our being in the very presence of God, anything unlike this vibration cannot come near us, nor our internal and external consciousness of safety, wholeness, and protection, because security is also a factor of wholeness. The verse states we can boldly say the Lord or the law of our being is our helper, and we will not fear. The banker had no fear in his consciousness. He acted on the intuitive messages to go back. You may have left something behind. He crossed the vacant lot without fear. Whatever the prisoner saw, he felt fear, as the banker seemed to have the company of the presence of spirit. But another factor to consider, he trusted the messages that he received intuitively. Yes, he may have forgotten something, but he was able to release and move right back into the demonstration of returning to the vacant lot. There was no questioning, as we sometimes do. We have prayed, and as the next steps appear, we question the veracity of the demonstration. We do it sometimes, not true. We focus on the knowledge, the certainty of the principle of truth, which shows up as an attribute of the presence of spirit in our lives. And we know that the next step will reveal itself as easily and effortlessly as the one preceding it. We are reminded by Hebrews 11, verse 1. Now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. Why? Because we know failure is not an option, and even if it shows up, it is a step to pivot on and move forward as we simply live, move, and have our being in spirit. Faith is an integral part of trusting in the knowledge of principle. Hebrews 13, verse 5, we boldly say the Lord is my helper, the law. This is a promise. The law must accept the impress of our thoughts and demonstrate. We must develop our faith muscles while using our mind efficiently to demonstrate life more abundant. A faith that is immovable and unfaltering. It's unfaltering because we know that the power of our mind can control conditions and reveal our wholeness and perfection and our security. The inspirational reading this morning is from a quote from Know Yourself, written by Dr. Ernest Holmes. The second verse says, Reverend Sonia did the first one, there is something in us which was never put there by experience, but of which all experience is the outcome. It is just God. It's not experience, It is what we are, God, in action, in activity through us. Let us consciously enter into the Spirit, which is at the same time both God and us, Dr. Holmes says. All the good there is, all the power there is, and all the God there is a living spirit of love and life, the essence of beauty and of truth, the infinite stillness which we drink into the soul is from the great reservoir of the universe, end of quote. Dr. Holmes goes on to say that effective treatment, that's how we pray, convinces the mind that our life is some part of God. We must know that we know and not merely lukewarm in our conviction. We must know that all good, the all-powerful presence is right where we are. Our faith must be strong and resilient because no matter what the issues are, once we become silent and listen, we are open and receptive to the great universal reservoir of wisdom and knowledge. There is always an answer to every question, a solution to every seeming inconsistency. So Dr. Holmes underscores again the importance of our affirmative prayer. He states, mental treatment repudiates doubt and fear, and in their place builds up hope, courage, conviction, expectancy, and receptivity. The work begins and ends in one's own mind. So the inspirational reading gives us the platform. We have two spiritual practices to consider in the development of our mental capacities and the deepening of our awareness: silence and affirmative prayer. We can learn to wait in the silence. I will share an acronym I got from retired Senior Minister Maxine Martin of Unity of Jamaica. Wait. It means, why am I talking? If we wait in the silence to listen for the steps to implement for manifestation, why am I still talking to others about our delay in demonstrating our good? Why are we still asking or talking to ourselves, why is this taking so long? Is this the demonstration for me? It does not look like, feel like what I desired. Stay in the silence and know. Psalm 46, be still and know that the omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience of God is right where we are, supplying every good thing and strengthening our faith muscles, filling us with confidence and certainty that are necessary components for our affirmative prayer. Ask, and ye shall receive. Reverend Bill Arrott shared this quote about prayer. Some studies, in fact, show that a simple, thy will be done, was more powerful than specific results held in mind. In many experiments, a simple attitude of prayerfulness, an all-pervading sense of holiness, and a feeling of empathy, caring, and compassion seem to set the stage for healing, he said. Why do I share this approach? Because there are times when something happens and the 5 steps of treatment do not come readily to mind. By the way, you know what they are? Recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. Are you ready to receive? But sometimes we don't remember that, don't we? But in that state of silent prayerfulness, Reverend Arrott is purporting a sense of wholeness, caring, love, and empathy opens the way for us to know that in the words of thy will be done, it is the same thing as the divine spirit will perfect that which concerns us in the moment or the person who has requested a prayer from us. God's will is our will for ourselves. So when especially speaking to persons who are experiencing loss and we have nothing to say, just let that all-pervading sense of empathy flow up from us, because it is so powerful. It sets the stage for the demonstration of just what the individual or any other self requires at that time that you're listening on the telephone or speaking to the person. Beyond thoughts and words, stillness. And in that stillness, there's the presence of spirit awakening us to the divine potential of good and more good. We also use this term, let go and let God. That is also another approach. And in the words of Pansy Bismuth, divine right order. Those words spoken with conviction and certainty opens the channels for the best demonstration necessary at that time. But the foundation is that we must focus on what we know. And we must have the faith that is certain of what we have not yet seen with our physical eyes. But we sense that fulfillment and satisfaction of answered prayer. Because sometimes you don't see nothing, but something comes right in the pit of your stomach to say, yes, it's okay. All is well. And that is your prayer. And it's not many words, don't. God. Dr. Holmes has reminded us that in the silence we are open to the universal reservoir of infinite possibilities. Reverend Arrott states again, which I must remind you, prayer is a reminder of our unbounded nature, of the part of us that is infinite in space and time. It is the universe's affirmation that we are not alone. The universe's affirmation that we are never alone. The Hebrews tell you, I will not forsake you, I will not leave you. You're never alone, even if you think so. It's not true. So as we develop our minds, we cultivate listening in the silence. We let our prayer time be that tender, precious time to court the ever-accessible presence of spirit that molds out of itself the desired good of our hearts. As we celebrate what we do know and demonstrate our desired good, our community must benefit from our expanded awareness. The healing, loving consciousness must become our beacon of light. At present, we are thinking about expanding our numbers. The approach is that we must develop our consciousness of community, which must have the magnetizing power to attract those who find empathy, love, and answers here, as well as healing takes place. It is said that millennials are more attracted to community and projects that make a difference rather than theology. So we know what we have to do. We have to develop our goals into revealing ourselves as the true spirit of community. Our vision states that a collective consciousness revealing love, joy, peace, prosperity to all. Practice, 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 my friends. Celebrate what you do know and live from the tenets of our teaching. God in us, as us, is us. Our lives are our prayer. We let our lights shine. The affirmation from the reading that Reverend Sonia shared goes like this. Nothing enters into my experience but joy, integrity, and friendship. Can we say that together? Nothing enters into my experience but joy, integrity, and friendship. So I end, friends, with another quote from Honorable Marcus Garvey. God and nature first made us what we are. And then out of our own created genius, we make ourselves what we want to be. Follow always that great law. Let the sky and God be our limit, and eternity be our measurement. End of quote. Our own created genius. We make ourselves what we want to be. Follow always that great law. Let the sky and God be our limit, and eternity be our measurement. Happy Independence Day.
I told you so, I told you so. Who can talk after that? But I just want to say one thing. The science of mind is simple. What is difficult for some people is the commitment to practice. We have been given a whole feast this morning, all come together. And I would like us to go listen to it again, piece by piece, part by part. It is available online. Digest it and let us commit to practicing it. Thank you again and again, Reverend, and always the same.
Thank you, Reverend Sonia. And let the birthday people for August, I see one over on my left side. Yes, please stand. August birthdays. There's only one person. Oh, two. Yes, Miss Jen. Yes, Tilly.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, as we celebrate those of us who are enjoying our birthday in this wonderful sunshine month. I know the sunshine of God is indeed shining forth in through us each one. I know that that consciousness of love, light, peace, and joy is ever radiating through their conscious awareness. I know that they are a blessing to themselves as a blessing to all who come into contact with them. And I know for this month, as they move forward into a new year of expectancy, I know for them all the good that fills their hearts are already demonstrations in their physical experience. They enjoy perfect health. They enjoy prosperity, creative self-expressions, wonderful business opportunities, and they need that loving conscious awareness of spirit in all their relationships. They are a blessing, each one. So I know them as they go forward, and as they let that wisdom and intelligence that is the truth about them guide them, guard them, govern them. I know that every step that is taken for each one of them in their new experience of life in this new year, it is filled with pleasantness, peace, prosperity, and joy. And I know that that presence and power continues to bless and uplift each one as I give thanks for each one of them and know that the spirit of love is forever radiating in through as their conscious awareness. This is the truth. I know that it is so, and so it is. Blessings. Oh, we have a nice musical item, which we call a time of reflection. And Vance is supposed to be playing. Thank you, God. Yes, Lauren. And while we are singing that song along with Bob Marley, please remember how beautiful our country is, how resilient our people are, and how each one of us is indeed a wonder to behold. Each one of us, a masterpiece. So we just let that music flow through your conscious awareness of gratitude, of who we are and who we are to those who come into contact with us. All right, Lauren? You know it? Let's sing along.
Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. Thank you, Lord, for me sing. Sing along, sing along. Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Lord, for you make me sing. Sing along, sing along. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing. Can we stand together and say the prayer of Jamaica, and we'll go into our second hymn. Together, the radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established, and so it is. And our second is I Pledge My Heart Forever. Of our Jamaican, see? Let us bless our love offering together. The blessing is on the envelope. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive, Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so it is. Wow. We give thanks for this shared consciousness this morning. We give thanks for our beloved heartland, Jamaica. We give thanks for our beloved Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living. I know that each one of us is indeed indicative of that which is strong, free, resilient, steadfast, and loyal. So I know as we go from this place, that consciousness of gratefulness for all that we are simply just moves out into the ethers to bless every single Jamaican on this plane of existence. And I think of our athletes far in the beyond. I know that that presence and power, that is indeed God, is right where they are, allowing them to compete at a level that allows them to just stand tall. So bright, so brilliant and free, that which is our nation, Jamaica. So as we continue to let that presence just fill our hearts this evening and this morning and wherever we go on this weekend or into Monday, we just know that it is simply just God. And it is our security, our protection, our wholeness, and all that it is to us and to those who come into contact. We give thanks for this consciousness of love, peace, and joy that continues to bless us. I release my word to law, and I know that all this is so, and so it is.
So it is.
Can we sing our national anthem, please? Thank you, friends, for joining us this wonderful morning, Independence Day. Remember, Tuesday with Vance, he's talking about healing of our nation. Tune into YouTube or Zoom. And see you right here next week, same place, same time. Thank you for your consciousness. And please remember to give Eddie a hug over there. Thank you.